everybody. Welcome to another episode of Out and About with Cabarrus County. I am Commissioner Liz Poole, and I'm happy to host this event. And I want to welcome the Mayor of the City of Concord, Scott Padgett, with me today. We've got lots of things happening in Concord and my hometown, and it's pretty much your hometown. You've been here most all of your life, so we're going to jump right in and talk about a lot of things that I think a lot of people have heard about, and we want to make sure that we get good information out to our listeners. So let's start off with a little bit about the history of Concord.
Well, you are a native, so you certainly know it probably better than I do, but it's just interesting for the people that are watching this to find out sort of how we got where we are. And Concord is 220 years old. 1796 was the founding. And there was a dispute about where the county seat was going to be, and the Scotch-Irish had one opinion, and the German people that had migrated here had another opinion. So there was a gentleman named Stephen Cabarrus that was the Speaker of the North Carolina House, who actually never came to Cabarrus County. But he used his authority to try to make the two sides get along. And they chose where we're sitting right now to be the county seat. Because of all this arguing, and I'm not sure how they came up with this, they chose the name Concord because it means harmony. And ironically, we're sitting on Union Street, which was another symbol of unification over this issue. Mm-hmm. So that's how it all started, and there's been a lot of transitions through the years when before there was a mall. And another thing, by the way, I think they chose this because it wasn't good for farming. This land says, well, you might as well put the county seat there. Mm-hmm. But for years, the Concord downtown was the center of the universe, and then the malls came and things changed. So now we're gaining momentum again.
We are. When I was in college, I took a cost accounting class, and it was a really bad move on my part. I didn't think I was going to pass the class after this particular day, but Philip Morris was getting ready to come to town, and the professor said, Philip Morris is building in Concord. And I said, Concord, and then realized, oh no, I can't believe I said that. But I always like to tell people we've never been Concord.
Absolutely.
Concord, we're a peaceful community.
Thank you.
And then he said, Philip Morris is building in Cabarrus County.
Oh my goodness.
And I had to shake my head, and he looked at me, and I said, no, it's Cabarrus. And then he looked for the third time and said, Philip Morris is building in North Carolina. And I went,
yeah.
So I did pass the class. That was a good thing, but I was a little concerned there for a while. So, but you're right. It is a great community, and we've had a lot of information out. The newspapers run an article. I know we did a joint meeting between the county commissioners and the city council to discuss some of the big things that are happening here in downtown. And I know for me, I always like to get ahead of the curve if I can. So make sure everybody understands nothing has been approved yet. You're still in the design and discussion phase. Is that right?
Absolutely. We had committees and a lot of opportunities for our public to come in, and it was great opportunity. Not a lot of people, but it was a great variety, old, young, new, so on, and they are very excited about downtown Concord. All of them care, their stakeholders, and they gave their opinion. We based a lot of the decisions we've made, the study, on their opinions.
And that's what we like, is to hear from people.
Absolutely.
So that's why we're doing this show.
Absolutely.
And if anybody needs to get in touch with you, you have a great website. Of course, city building is here downtown. People can come by, they can get you. You're very approachable, and along with any of the council members, and have more conversations, which is a good thing.
Thank you. That's the main thing, and nothing has been decided. So what people have seen or heard, again, nothing has been decided. It's just a plan, and as I think as Commissioner Shue said, without a vision you're not going anywhere. So this is our vision.
I agree with you completely. So let's talk about a couple things currently downtown that have happened. So one, we had the old furniture building, mm-hmm. and it's now condos. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's completely filled up, but I know a lot of those units are full, and that's a big thing for a downtown community to have residents who are living downtown.
Absolutely.
And I think the city had some help in that mm-hmm. particular process.
We did.
And the same people doing that one are now working to renovate the Hotel Concord.
That's correct, yes. They used, Patrick is the owner, developer, and he used tax credits, historic tax credits, which thank goodness the state kept that. And without that, I don't think he could have pulled it off, because you just don't go into an old building and redo it as cheaply as you can build a new building. but my goodness, we want to save our history. So yes, the lofts at 29 has been extremely popular. I believe it's practically always full. And the historic Concord Hotel was just a linchpin of this city. And the ballroom is so popular for weddings and parties. They're using it more now than they have in years. And I want everybody, proms, yes, oh yes. It made my day when Concord came back and having their proms at the Concord Hotel.
It gave me flashbacks. I'll tell you that much.
I wasn't there, but I can only imagine. We had ours in the gym, so I would have loved to have a place like that. But that's successful, and I want everybody to understand that is going to stay intact. The Concord Hotel ballroom is going to remain like it is and probably be more beautiful. But the good part is we're going to have residents living up above, and I think there are almost 40 apartments planned. And these are market rate apartments. These are not discounted apartments. It's whatever the market bears. And as a matter of fact, the lofts apartment rental rate, what they're charging, is higher than most other people.
So it's very exciting to have the residents downtown. They will support places like where we are right now at Union Street Bistro, because you'll have residents that can walk to the restaurants and walk to the attractions, of which we have many in downtown Concord. So very exciting. And those are public-private partnerships.
Absolutely,
which
yes.
are what we really want.
Yes, this is infusion of money coming from the private sector to do this.
So there's some other projects that have been talked about. So from the county perspective, one of the things that we're responsible for, of course, is the courthouse. So we are moving along to do some investigation as to what we need to build another courthouse. Don't worry, the historic courthouse isn't going anywhere. We're talking about the 1970s courthouse that's currently in use. No decisions have been made yet, no funding has been made for it yet, but we are working along that lines, and I think it's something that the county needs to move forward with. I've been a commissioner now for 8 years, and we've been talking about it for longer than that. So I'm looking forward to us moving forward with that. And then the other item that the county's working on that should happen sooner is the parking deck.
Right.
So we need parking space for the jurists that come to the courthouse every day and everybody that does business there. So we're working on that. And of course, we have to work with the city because we're in your jurisdiction for planning and zoning. So again, nothing's decided yet, but we're looking at a couple different things, kind of do some office fronts on the street now. Barbrick, thank you, on Barbrick, so that the building, the parking deck looks nice. So that, and I think the parking deck helps the city out.
It certainly does. You've already chosen the architect, I think, and so that's a big step. And we're working together to satisfy the needs of the city of Concord for parking, and of course the county. And again, we appreciate the county's cooperation in making this, because this parking deck will outlive us, I think, to make something that we can all be proud of.
Right.
And to keep it from looking as just a utilitarian parking deck, but something that blends in with what's already here. And by using the bottom floor, the first floor, to, I think they call it lining, never heard that expression before, lining that with, could be office, retail, restaurants, so on, it'll just blend right in. So that's got to be the first thing. We've got to take care of the parking first.
Yep. And you know, when I look at downtown Concord, my main focus is the main street of Union Street. But there's more to downtown Concord than the one street. So, for example, the City Hall building is one block over.
Right.
And so we have Market Street. And so we need to look at, I know you guys are looking at Market Street and some things that can be done in that area, and it kind of expands this whole area of downtown Concord. So one project y'all have talked about is the Market Plaza. So tell us about that.
Well, again, it's just a sketch, but we don't, as far as downtown goes, for the size of Concord, our downtown is actually pretty small. But by using Market Street, I think we can just expand downtown Concord. And a Market Plaza, which would, you would tear down the old police headquarters, and you would use a parking lot there, and it's pretty large when you look at that, would be our green space. Because again, we don't really have any green space downtown Concord, and most places do. So this can really be the center of a lot of things. I can see concerts there. but certainly not big name bands. That's not the purpose. It's all about enhancing the quality of life. It'd be a place, I hope, for some passive recreation, things that we certainly need a good place to have our tree lighting. We keep moving our Christmas tree lighting. Finally, we would have a permanent location for the tree lighting. And, and farmers markets, arts activities, all kind of things I think we can use for that plaza. So I think people are going to love that.
I think so too. I think it'll be a good connector. I mean, we have Carolina Courts that's there. We've got Memorial Gardens that's just absolutely a gem in downtown Concord. So to have all of that connected together, and I think what you're doing and the city's talking about with Market Plaza and that little area, because it's not very big, of a space, will really help the downtown area and tie it together a lot.
It will, and many cities use the back of the buildings. So we already have one, well, it's not historic, but it's been here a long time, the building that used to be the ABC store, and now it's a photography shop. It's actually oriented toward Market Street, and I think other buildings, other businesses back there's ways that they can expand to just be oriented toward Market. So what I picture is you can walk down Union Street, you can cut through, and you go down Market Street, and you'll just have more things and more businesses and so on.
And more things to see. So I already mentioned the fact that you have a beautiful new City Hall building, but that also leaves a challenge for you because you have the old building and the old annex building. So tell us a little bit about what might happen with those.
Well, again,
and those will be partnerships with other people.
Absolutely. We're looking for private investors to come in. The first one will be the former City Hall, which is actually two old buildings that are tied together that really don't have any historic significance.
They used to be bank buildings before you guys moved into it.
Exactly. They were bank buildings. So we have put out a request for proposal to developers to look at this and come up with their ideas, because it's going to be their money that they're investing anyway. We've got some ideas that we think, again, retail, office, maybe some living spaces and so on. They may have other ideas, but probably about 4 stories high, which is in keeping with a lot of the other buildings downtown. So that one is going to go on, and I would suspect that will be the first one that is completed out of the master plan.
And then the annex building is here on the end of the block.
Yeah, that's sort of like the courthouses. You got the old courthouse and the new old courthouse and so on. Well, the annex is the old City Hall, and it's a corner lot, and it lends itself to a lot of good things, and it's going to be right across the street from the parking deck. So we'll have to wait till the parking deck issue is settled before we put out proposals on the annex. But again, office space, because it's right across from the courthouse, so I could see attorneys, again, restaurants, maybe some living space. And again, we're thinking about 4 stories on that. So that's an important corner there.
And again, that would be private money coming in, not city taxpayer dollars.
You can't say that enough.
I know you can't say it enough. I'm trying to help you here.
Yes, and we anticipate, by the way, just the old City Hall building and the hotel, that's approximately $19 million worth of private investment in our downtown. So that's very significant.
That's huge. Yes, it's huge for our downtown. And then the last project I want to talk about for a minute is Union Street itself. It's a vital street for me because I go up and down it all day long between home and work and chores and everything else. So there's a couple ideas out there about what might happen with Union Street, and I'm sure that the business owners along Union Street have been involved in what that's going to look like. So tell us a little bit about some of the ideas for Union Street itself.
Well, of course, Union Street is such a jewel. I mean, sometimes I say it reminds me of Charleston. We just don't have the water. But Union Street, both ends now are just beautiful. And we've got the Union Street that's downtown, and we're sitting right here today around a lot of businesses that are thriving. But now the new trend is a lot of people like to dine outside. And that's good, but we're going to have to extend our sidewalks to allow people to walk and to have outside dining. So I think in the future we will probably have to be faced with the decision, do we cut out parking on one side of the street, or do we cut out parking altogether in the area between Corbin and Cabarrus and widen our sidewalks but still have passage? I don't see anything where we're going to close Union Street. I don't see that happening. It's too important. But I can see some beautiful opportunities for these businesses to expand out on the sidewalk and add to what's already very beautiful.
Yeah. And I agree with you completely. Today it's a little warm out. I'm not certain I'd want to be sitting outside.
Right.
I'm really happy to be right in here where
Absolutely.
we are. You have your concert series during the summer on the third Thursday night, and this place is just full of people walking up and down and enjoying it. And Union Street Bistro actually goes out into the street, and because you close off traffic, and they use an area for outside dining that's always full. So I'm sure there's a lot of demand for it. There's a lot of other cities in North Carolina and around the country that have that feature of outside dining.
They do, but the whole subject of downtown is you and I got a little history behind us, and remember when downtown was like the center of the universe, no matter where you grew up. Well, now that is coming back. We've gone through stages where when the Carolina Mall was built, a lot of businesses moved to the mall, and then downtown was pretty dead for years, especially at night. But now people are yearning for that, and it's us older people, but the young people. It so excites me that the young people get a warm feeling about being in downtown. It brings back something that they miss, that they want. So cities all over the United States are doing this. Some of the newer cities have to create a downtown. Fortunately, we've got one that's 220 years old, and we're taking it to the next step.
And beautiful.
Absolutely.
I mean, it really is.
Trees.
Great canopy, beautiful buildings and architecture, a lot of historical buildings here, and a lot that we should be proud of.
Absolutely.
In downtown.
I want to live to see it finished.
I think that sounds like a good plan. I mean, my family's here, so
Right.
I'm not planning on going anywhere either. So I'm looking forward to all the developments and everything that's going to happen downtown. There's one project, since you mentioned about people finding downtown, and I know you and I both know because we've been on the Convention and Visitors Bureau,
Right.
is a wayfinding project. And I do not remember the timeline on that, but there will be some signs up that'll help direct people to all the different municipalities in the county, not just Concord, but and that's going to be a really good project as that proceeds over the next year to try to get those signs out. But Concord is more than just right in the downtown area. I mean, city limits of Concord has expanded a lot. So what else is going on in Concord that people need to know about?
Well, the exit 49 has to be, if not the busiest, one of the busiest exits in North Carolina. And I don't know anywhere in the United States where you're going to find the number one tourist attraction, which is Concord Mills, and probably the number 6, which is Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is in Concord, on both ends. And we've got about 2,000 hotels out there now. And that is extremely important, and we had no idea of the growth. So we are working along with the state, and of course your support on the MPO for the Department of Transportation. We've got some remedies for this traffic. One is a bridge called a flyover that can allow cars to move under the bridge and not stop, and the people that are trying to get into the mall can go over. And another important asset and connection is Dorada Road, which again, Concord Regional Airport, but so many new, and it's like an international, it's industrial parks out there, and that is a connection from Concord Mills to Poplar 10. So the state is supporting us. We got a federal grant 2 or 3 congressmen ago, believe it or not. We're finally getting to use that, and the city of Concord has a 20% match for that project, and that should be a planted median. Really look good and be extremely important to the transportation here in Concord and Cabarrus County.
Well, and I've said for years, during the recession, so many places have been hit so hard, and I do think we've come out of it and things are getting much better. But what helped us was tourism, and Exit 49 made a difference. If we had not had those forward-thinking people who brought Concord Mills here, and the hotels that came with it, the restaurants that came with it. There's some more restaurants coming out at Concord Mills itself. They've got some pads going and building some more high-end restaurants for us to enjoy. Traffic has always been an issue out there, especially during certain times of the year. But the road projects are really important. Now, the county doesn't fund road projects. I get calls all the time about roads. The county is not in the road and bridge building business. But as you said, I am a member of the Cabarrus Rowan Metropolitan Planning Organization, or as I call it, the Roads and Bridges Group. And it's been good for me, at least, feel like I'm contributing on that board, if you will,
Yes.
to be able to support your efforts from Concord to try to get those MPO dollars and DOT dollars and the other, because you can't afford to do it by yourself.
No.
But you do have to spend money. You do a lot of road work for the
Right.
city of Concord.
Yeah.
So as we close, I do want to ask a favor of you, and you don't have to commit today. But this, and you know which project I'm probably going to mention, if you think about it, because this has been my thing for the last few years. My line has been a really good mayor by the name of George Lyles needs a road all the way to Highway 49.
And I couldn't agree more.
And I knew you would be on board with that,
Absolutely.
and I think we need some help to work that one along. If we can connect 49 to 29 to 85 to 73 to Highway 3, which gets us into Mooresville to 77, that will open up all kinds of the investments we've had lately
Yes.
of distribution businesses
Yes.
who bring high-paying jobs and really good investments
Yes.
to the county. So I'm hoping that now that I think we've gotten Concord Mills Boulevard and Dorada Road on the map, and 85 obviously is chugging right along. I'm hoping that that's our next big road project.
You know, and we're so close because the biggest part of it's already done.
Yes.
And that's great. So I agree, we need to push to get that final sector, because that's, it's good as it is, but boy, that would make it, that's just tremendous in this county.
It would really help all of the investments that we have. So anything else you want to tell our viewers about with the city of Concord?
I don't think so, but I appreciate this opportunity to talk about town. And I think Alan Small had this comment. A lot of us thought about, if your downtown is not healthy, it's like the core of an apple. If the core of the apple is rotten, then the apple's not going to be. So despite all the other growth, which we're so proud of, and as you said, tourism is so important, you want a healthy downtown. It's not, everything's not about dollars and cents. A lot of it is quality of living and the way you feel about where you live. And I've never had somebody that came in and looking to locate something here say, well, take me to your nearest mall. I want to see what your mall looks like. But they do enjoy when they come to see the heart of this city and the heart of this county right here. They get a really good feeling, and I think that's helped a lot of economic development that we've had.
And I agree. And without vision, none of that would have happened.
Absolutely.
And we've been very fortunate for all the elected boards in the county, and we all work well together. We meet quarterly. We have great conversations. If we're not working together, then it's a real problem. And I'm thankful that the county and all the municipality boards are able to sit down and have a good conversation and work together to have vision and work through any problems or concerns we might have, because really the only reason we're doing this is to make things better for everybody else. And I think that your city council does a good job of that. I hope people think county commissioners are doing a good job of that. So, but it's great to sit down with you today. Again, it's great to be here at Union Street Bistro, a great restaurant in downtown Concord. Invite everybody to come out and have a meal here. I think you've already gotten your to-go meal for today, so you're set. And we appreciate everybody and all the viewers, and thank you very much for Out and About with Cabarrus County.
If you have suggestions for topics or location that you would like to see on Out and About, please contact us. Our email address is outandabout@cabarruscounty.us.